Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of the Smart Flip. We're closing in on 100 episodes with the podcast, guys. This is wild. Man, this has been a wild journey, right?
It
I've
has. Like people don't know. It's been a minute of doing this, but it's pretty cool.
been doing this over a year at this point. It's crazy.
It's really cool.
Guys, if this is your first time like viewing the podcast, this is the Smart Flip. This is where we talk about phone flipping, buybacks, and stuff like that. Very niche industry, but very profitable industry. Very easy business to make six figures in if you do it correctly. And for those of you that are just joining, basically what we do on this podcast is we bring people on, or it's just me and Matt sometimes, where we talk about tips, tricks, and tactics and things like that to help you start, grow, and scale an electronics buyback business so that you can also be successful in an industry that, in my opinion, is very difficult to kill. It's not like drop
Mhm.
shipping that is just, up one month, down the next, right? It's a very consistent business if you do it correctly. Today we have a guest, my partner, also Aaron Goldstein. We've been working together for quite a while now. Aaron runs buybacks and Mercury Electronics, which is a direct buyer in the industry. And I think I can say this accurately, the fastest growing direct buyer right now in the industry by a margin, by a lot, actually.
Watch out.
Um, and if you guys don't know, Buyback Revolution has launched. So my book is now available on Amazon. You can find it in the description below, in wherever you're viewing. Aaron's got his copy there.
Oh, I got my
Um,
copy right here. Yes.
Aaron actually put up a video review of it on his price sheet last night, which was awesome. We're going to be going over the price sheet today as well because it's probably the most in-depth price sheet I've seen. Yeah, there's Matt's on his Kindle. Love it. I know Aaron was going through and actually reading it. I didn't expect him to read it. Skimming through it, marking stuff up, and putting stuff in there, and he said it was pretty valuable. So I guess it's pretty valuable. And by the way, I appreciate all the support. We ranked this past week number one in best books to start a business. We were
That's
number
cool.
one for about 3 days, which was pretty freaking cool. So I really appreciate everybody that bought it. Unfortunately, I've been dethroned at this point, but it is what it is. We're still crushing it. And I hope the book brings a lot of value to everybody. You can listen to it for free on the podcast. I believe it's episode 82 through 83, 93. I broke the chapters up. I recorded the audiobook myself, despite my voice going out after that. So go and listen to it. And then last thing before we get started, join the school community. Uh, you can also get the book there, and if you finish the book there, complete the assignments, you can actually get a custom GPT of the book. For those that don't know what that is that's basically a chat GPT trained on the book itself, so you can basically ask the book questions, which is pretty freaking cool. There's quite a few people that have already finished the book and got it, and they love that. And then there's also a course in that in the school community that you have to finish, or you get banned from the community. So be careful if you don't finish it. I think we're close to banning 900 members now. So a lot of people. We got about 200 active people in that group, but it's the most active one that I've ever had. So with that being said, check
Let's
out the
go.
stuff below. I'm done pitching stuff, even though it's all free. Um, let's get into the podcast. Aaron, what's up, man? How's Mercury doing?
It's doing good. Just picked up 7 boxes today of different shipments of people sending stuff off, sending stuff Oh, in. So
That's
it's oh
fantastic.
been boy. busy.
I love it. So, dude, what has it been like? I know you're more or less transitioning. You're still doing a couple local pickups just because that system basically runs by itself once you build it, right? Um, but what is it like transitioning to being, direct buyer? That I know it's getting busy.
It's getting busy. Well, just like any business, there's different stresses and different things you have to deal with. But it's nice, and one of the reasons I think we're growing so quickly and I'm so good at it is because I've been picking up items. I started picking up stuff more than 10 and a half years ago. I've been teaching
Yeah.
for 10 years. Yeah. So I kind of knew some of the challenges that I would deal with when I would communicate with other direct buyers. And I wanted to fix those things, being a direct buyer. Um,
Ooh, let's
so I
actually
think
dive into that. Like, what were those issues? Like, I think that's a good thing to bring up.
so one of the issues was payment. I always wanted to get paid quickly for a couple of reasons. One, I didn't want to have to worry about the payment.
Yeah.
Two, I was always a little bit worried they weren't going to pay me, which is even if I'd sent to
Yeah.
them a few times, there's just peace of mind knowing that when you get to everything's done, right? You're kind of trusting them up front. And I'd say the final thing was communication and clear outlines. And one of those outlines, of course, being grading, like knowing what they grade and what the deductions are, and just kind of understanding
Yeah.
how the direct buyer side works. So those are some of the issues, and that's one of the things when we named Mercury. Mercury is the Roman god of speed. So we specifically named Mercury Electronics Speed Fast Payments. And generally, our motto is payment within 24 to 36 hours of the package arriving. I would say 98% of the time.
There's also the no BS part.
Right, the no BS part. So, because I would sell to these other direct buyers, and the package would arrive on Thursday. So now I'm waiting.
Yeah.
And then Friday they send a little thing, the item and the grading, and they might
Hmm.
send they would send it at like noon, and I'd give them a thumbs up to pay at like 12:30, and they wouldn't send payment till Monday because I
Oh,
guess these guys were taking Saturday and Sunday off. So it's
yeah.
like, all right, it's been like over half a week since the package arrived till I got payment. It was just kind of annoying, and I wanted to have the capital. So A, I'd have peace of mind that, they weren't going to screw me over. But B, so I could just keep flipping it. You need the
Right.
money so you can buy more stuff.
Yeah.
And
That's a big part of it. Is that, like, I think the fact that you came from flipper or from buyback business owner to went to a direct buyer. I don't think a lot of the direct buyers did that. Like the main ones now. If at least I don't think. I don't know. But it doesn't seem like they did.
Yeah.
no. So I guess it allows me to be kind of understand where some of these guys are coming from.
Yeah.
And I still
Yeah.
like doing pickups too, like you said. I did 4 pickups yesterday. I made about 600 in net profit picking up items yesterday.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That
So,
Google runs.
right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the power of Google.
That's awesome. So, um, I want to go over a little bit of because you made some massive adjustments to the price sheet, and I assume it took a few weeks to make that. Here, I'm going to enable the screen share here so that you can kind of show it off a little. For those of you that are listening, you can go to YouTube and look at this on video. But Aaron made a lot of adjustments to the price sheet yesterday, and I can only assume it took quite a few weeks to put all of it together as well. Um, Aaron, if you want to share your screen and kind of go over some of the newest updates and stuff, I think that would be super cool.
Yep, absolutely. So we have our price sheet right here. And there's a few updates. This was actually probably the largest update that we've done since we started this, since Mercury Electronics started. The first tab, of course, is we have the standard kind of grading and information, which is just basic information, how to contact us. I try to make everything as simple as possible. So we communicate on WhatsApp. That's kind of just how basically a lot of the other direct buyers communicate. So you could like just click this link and it'll basically start a conversation what's on WhatsApp, so you don't have to do it manually. We have a community here that you can join that keeps you updated with everything that's happening on Mercury, the newest updates, um, where to ship, how to get paid. A big tab, this is a new tab that we added. I guess it was 1 or 2 days ago now. So this is all about grading. And, and what is grading? So grading is
So,
kind of general and it was kind of crap. It wasn't really detailed. So I wanted to make it where when someone had questions about grading, they had a resource that they could go to and see a breakdown of how everything is graded, real life examples. So there's no confusion and there's no kind of guesswork. So we did a few things for the grading. Of course, the first thing we did is we made a whole new tab of it. The next thing I did was I expanded the description so it's easier to understand. It encompasses more of what falls into each grade. What makes something new, sealed, what makes something open box, what makes something A, B
Hmm.
plus, B, B minus, C, D grade,
Yeah.
all these things. And then finally, we have video and photo examples of each. And in the video example, I go over what the grading is, so what a sealed phone is, what open box, what A, what B plus, what B is. The other thing I do in these videos is I will compare in the videos to different grades. So in the B grade video, I show you what a B grade phone is, what it
Mm.
encompasses, and then I compare it to like a B minus grade so you can see in real time and you have that kind of reference experience. It's not really any guessing anymore. It's like, okay, this is what B is, this is what B minus. So every time now moving forward for the rest of your time in this business, if you meet up with someone and
Mhm.
it falls, you kind of know, all right, this was closer to B grade. Oh, this is closer to B minus grade. And also, I talk about how sometimes it's if we don't have a B minus grade section, if it's just B grade, I'll even share, like in this example, if a phone is B minus grade, but we only have B grade, what the deduction would be. And I have a deduction on kind of like a B slash B minus and then like more of a solid B minus and how it's a slightly larger deduction. So now it's no guesswork. Now you know exactly what all the grading is. And of course, we have photos right here as well. And this is nice if you're like meeting up with someone and you're like, all right, I'm not
Yeah.
sure. They said it was in great condition, but it's kind of, you can literally just pull up these pictures, see what it falls into. And the whole purpose of this is all these gradings right here. Whenever you look at an item, it has different gradings. So like an iPhone right here, it has like an A grade, a new in box, a seal, a B plus, B slash B slash B minus C, C grade. So you literally know what grading the item falls into. Then you look at the price
Yeah.
sheet and you match it up with the item and you know the exact price you're getting. So you
Mhm.
know what to offer to the lead so you make sure you're making your money correctly.
This is probably the most like detailed I've ever seen grading on a price sheet before. Just gonna be real. Like I've seen a lot of price sheets. This is actually
A
funny
lot.
too because this is something I wanted to do on the price sheet whenever we first started was to add videos and photos and just be like, super incredibly detailed. So I'm glad you did it. It looks great. And then I also saw down here you got other deductions, but then you took it even further. Like you showed people how to spot fake iPhones, iPads, Apple Watches, and all of that, which I don't think anybody does. Um, but I like that I can only imagine how much money that's going to um, save people. Just
For real.
they'll be like, "Wait, I saw on Aaron's price sheet or I saw on the podcast Aaron does this on his price sheet, how to spot a fake iPhone. Let me go watch that video." Is that a video? I'm assuming
Yeah,
yeah, it's a video. Yep.
and it's just like all the other videos, it's not just me talking, I'm showing actual examples. So I show you what an actual fake iPhone looks like, and then I show you a real iPhone and I show the differences of the two. There's certain specific things that are different in them. That way you can start to train your eye to look for it so you don't get screwed. I do the same
That's
thing with
cool.
iPads. And this video is even more extensive because there's like fake sealed iPads and then there's fake actual iPads. So I go over what to look for as far as that goes. I go over the differences. I show actual examples. So again, so you know what to look for so you don't get screwed. I do the same thing with fake Apple Watches. And I also do the same thing with Samsung unlocks. SICK-W is 100% accurate, as far as I know, for determining if an iPhone is unlocked or not. But it's not
Yeah.
accurate at all for Samsung. So we
Yeah.
go over and we go over two different ways in this video, and I show you it. I pull it up in real time, and I show you two different methods to see if your Samsung phone is unlocked or not. This way, you're not buying it as unlocked, and it's actually carrier locked. And then there's just some other resources as well. And of course, I like Chris's book a lot, so I put Chris's book in here.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that until I was looking through this last night. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So, yeah, this is awesome. I see we're also doing Google Pixel now too. That's great.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Google Pixel. Oh, and then a couple of the other things is we're now buying MacBooks too. This is brand new. This was updated 3 days ago. We're now buying sealed and open box MacBooks,
Awesome.
a handful of them. And also our iPad prices went up a lot. About 83% of every single iPad that we have has gone up in price. We were paying really, really good for a few types of specific ones, but other ones we weren't paying that good for. So all this is updated now.
Awesome.
And we also updated some of the Apple Watches too. And this again was just like the Series 10 and Ultra 2s. We weren't paying as good as some of the other guys, and now we're basically paying about the same price. So this was actually the biggest in the last 4 days. We've had the biggest update on the price sheet that we've ever had. And this way we can offer people the most amount of money for all the items they have. So people that are watching this can make the most amount of money, get paid quickly, not get screwed because they have the grading thing and how to spot fake items, and we can all
Hmm.
keep growing and make a bunch of money together.
Yeah.
How long did it take to make all of that? Like that you basically built a course like on how to grade phones and all that stuff. Like I'm just kind of curious, like from somebody
It
who
doesn't.
makes courses. I know me, I mean Matt built, Console Kings, which was extensive. Um, but like how long did it take to build all these videos?
I made everything besides these a few of these bottom videos in 24 hours, and then I added a few of these videos in the last 24 hours, and then I'm probably going to add a few more videos as well.
That's about right. That's on par with who Aaron is. Yeah.
That sounds accurate.
Yeah, I like to get stuff done and knock stuff out.
Aaron is the greatest partner you could ask for. If I need something from him, I get it within 24 hours. If not
Yeah.
less than 6 hours. It's pretty fantastic.
I
Mhm.
definitely did not build console kings in 24 hours. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, you also went over what 64 different consoles. Like,
Well, yeah, it's a
what
lot
are
Yeah.
of.
we at? What are you at now? Like 72?
Yeah, it's like 74 plus different items outside of phones and Apple products mentioned on the
That is
price sheets and in the course. It's a
crazy.
lot of stuff.
That's wild. Need a console Kings GPT.
Yeah, true.
So that's a
So,
little bit more than a handful of videos, right? And these
yeah, no,
videos are pretty short. These are right to the point.
yeah, yeah.
There's
That's
not
But
too.
great.
it is so educational, and that's what makes it awesome. Is if you can inform the people who are wanting to sell to you and you're essentially empowering them, enabling them to do what they do better. Who wouldn't want to work with somebody like that? Like I would. And I'm not much of a phone flipper, guys, but that's like so helpful because so many people are intimidated or have issues with it, and direct buyers are wishy-washy and whatever. But that is like so empowering. That's really cool, Aaron.
Let me point out something else too. Thank you, Matt. Let me point out something else too. I've also embedded a couple other videos. So Samsung, there's a new thing with Samsung over the last six-ish months where you want to do what's called a Knox guard check.
Oh my
It's
gosh, yes.
similar to like iCloud on iPhones, but it's kind of more hidden and it's kind of underneath the Samsung. So it's a weird thing. So anyway, I would see on some of these other direct buyer sheets, they would say, you got to run Knox guard, and I didn't know what that meant. So now we have a video. There's a video in real time of me showing how to run this, what to look for when you run it, so there's no confusion as far as that goes. And then the same thing with iPads. Again, it was about six-ish months ago where now certain cellular Verizon iPads are a lower
Yes.
price.
AT&T as well. They would like it would say unlocked, but it would be locked to AT&T. I ran
Mm.
into that two or three times through eBay, and I was like, it says unlocked. Like what like and I didn't understand it at the time and then I did. And like when you'd go to set the because they were new iPads that I bought and they said unlocked, but then I'd go to back and set it up because I got it back in a return and it would ask me to connect it to AT&T service and I was like,
Oh.
"Oh, problem. Got it."
So there is a certain type of check that we want to do, and this video is a walkthrough. And it took me a few months to understand too, because it was new, it was confusing, and there wasn't really, I couldn't find any explanation on how to do it. So we have probably a 5-minute video that shows how to run it. It's not just the standard like, SIG-W iPhone, iPhone kind of check thing. It's like a $2 and $2 like 80 cent thing. So it shows the exact check to do and what you need to look for to see if it's Verizon, which is generally the lower price, or the standard one. This way, again, there's no confusion as well. And I try to put some other like goodies in here as you go through these videos. Like I talk about how to get sick W checks cheaper than what they generally are. Like I'm
Hmm.
paying about 40 to 50% cheaper for every single sick W check than I was before. So there's a bunch of other kind of goodies and things that I try to just make super clear so you don't have to go through the 10 years that I had to go through where I bought some fake Apple Watches
Yeah.
information. They don't have to go through that and lose the money that I lost.
Yeah. I bought some fake Samsungs before. And
Oh.
it's not a fun thing. And some of those are so good you can't even tell the difference, which is wild because I've been doing this for a long time and it was probably a couple months ago I bought one.
I
Luckily I
remember
got a
that.
bill of sale and luckily the guy was like, "Oh, I didn't know it was fake," and he gave me my money back. Um, But
Oh,
I
he's
actually
lucky.
asked him if I could keep it just like for cases like this where I could just double check. Because the thing was, is it was slightly laggy. Like not a lot, just slightly, you know? But then I dug into the settings a little more and then there were some commas in the wrong spots and stuff.
Oh, that's a good sign. Yeah.
I was like, ah, damn. So that's awesome, dude. Like I said, this is probably the most detailed sheet I've seen come across in the industry. Which is, so for everybody listening, definitely check out the sheet. You can find it in the description below. And go through those videos because I know a lot of you guys have a lot of questions about grading. And I'm in some of the WhatsApp groups with some people going back and forth with Aaron trying to confirm grade. And this right here will eliminate a lot of that. Because that's most of your guys' questions, especially newbies, right? Like they come in, they don't really understand grading, right? And
Hmm.
that's fine. But like this right here is the form of executive communication on here is what it looks like. Compare your phone with this video or with this photo. And I love how it goes into so much detail. That's it's fantastic.
I appreciate it, Chris. That was the goal.
That's
Keep it
awesome.
right to the point. And of course, when you click the video, you don't have to put your email, you just, the video
Yeah,
plays right away.
that's
Same with
awesome.
the photo. So it's like instant, it's an instant link, which is, I wanted to make it super easy. But yeah,
Love
that's
it.
pretty good. And
Fantastic. So that's great. So um let me ask you this, man. Why um I'm just gonna say it, why Mercury over the other direct buyers now?
that's a good question. And there's a couple reasons for that. One is the payment. We pay super, super fast. The second is it's very good communication. I communicate with everybody. If you message me about some random stuff on Facebook, I'm probably not even going to open it. But when it comes to this stuff, I'm very good at communicating with people. And as we grow and as we start to hire people, the communication will continue. The third thing is that we pay very good prices and above higher prices for others. I can give an example of this. So a 16 Pro Max 256 carrier locked sealed or new iPhone. So we're talking a 16 Pro Max, the newest one, that's carrier locked. If you have any other body's price sheet, they're all paying about 650 bucks. We're paying 675. The only deduction for that is if it's the black color, that's $20 less. If it's T-Mobile, we're paying 690. We're paying $40 above everyone else.
Heck
So
yeah.
worst case is you're making about $5 more, or you're making 25 bucks more, or you're making $40 more. So one of the other things is we do have premium prices, and if you compare, it's even some of the unlocked ones, like a lot of the unlocked 16 Pro Max sealed, they're paying like 930, we're paying 945. So we have premium pricing. The other thing we have is some of our deductions are less. So if we don't even have to stick to the 16s, let's just go to the 15s, 15 Pro Maxes. Like a lot of the other guys, if the back is cracked, they're deducting like 130-ish. For certain items that are 15 Pro Maxes, we're deducting 120. Others we're deducting 100. The cracked camera lenses, and I don't want to pull up anyone else's price sheet, but if you have it, you could compare. On a 15 Pro Max, a lot of them are deducting like 70 to $80 for a cracked camera lens. Some of the cracked camera lenses, if it's like T-Mobile or Unlocked, we're deducting 70, but some of them it's only 30. And this is a big thing too with some of the 16 series and the other ones. So not only are we paying, now we're not paying more on every single item, we're paying very, very competitive, but there are a lot of items that we are paying slightly more to a lot more, or where the deductions is less. This way, you can retain more money and make more profit. So it's a combination of all those things. And I'd say the other thing is just trust. I've been teaching this now for over 10 years. 10 years
Hmm.
ago, I started teaching in David Kosciuszko's program. So there
Hmm.
are a lot of people that got started in when I was teaching, and now of course Chris is the leader in the programs as far as this goes. So there
Hmm.
are people that they just have the trust, and they're like, all right, I don't think Aaron's going to screw me over. He hasn't screwed anybody over so far.
Yep.
You can check in any Facebook group. He was the one that taught me how to get into this business. And because I followed his advice and now Chris's advice, I'm now making ten to $15,000 a month in profit. Or some people are doing it more part-time and they're happy making their $5,000 to $6,000 a month in profit.
Yeah.
There's just that trust where we're not complete strangers because they've known us for half a decade or more, or sometimes it's only been 6 months or a year, but there's just that trust that's built into it.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Look at this. I love
Look at
looking.
all those people viewing the sheet.
Yeah, 11. I compare this to all the others, and from what I've seen, we're the second best. There's, of course, the main person
But
that
yeah,
has.
it's on the YouTube channel. It's on, well, I did just make a post yesterday, so I can be
Yeah.
part of it.
And
But
that's the other thing that's good about working with Chris is we've worked before in other things, so we do
we
have kind of
have,
that trust in our relationship.
yes.
We did the drop shipping thing that was good for 3 months till the fucking algorithm changed. And but
Yeah.
as far as our partnership, it was, and I remember that was the thing. I remember working with you. You started like hiring people. You were very proactive. I was like, wow. I was like, Chris is just being proactive and taking initiative and making stuff happen. So,
Well, I think like that's something you don't see with a lot of people, is I'm very, how do I say it? Um I, and Matt knows this. I'm big on jumping into something that nobody else has jumped into yet, you know.
First to the market.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And I mean, Matt, you know this. I've bounced ideas off of you for how long at this point?
The reason that my course was first to the market is Chris was like, you should be first to the market. And I was like, I should be first to the market. Like, but I think it's great. I think everybody's had a really bad experience with a direct buyer as far as like
Yes.
delayed
100%.
payments.
Yes.
I think the worst thing is when you have, there's nothing worse, I think, than unmet expectations where a reseller is sending them in and they have a guarantee based on a price sheet that it's this. Then
Yes.
they get the item, they get it late, they process it late, they look at it late. Let's say it got sent in on a Friday, and I think there's a few things going back to what you were saying early on, Aaron, is like, you know, weekend days are prime like sourcing days for anybody who's a flipper, and it's like now you got to wait till Monday.
Yeah.
And then on Monday, let's say they update their price sheet, and then you feel slighted because they give you less. I know somebody's hearing this that's happened to before.
Yep.
And then you go, oh gosh, those guys are, they're liars or they're inconsistent. And you just have these encounters where you're going, well, I guess the industry is just like that. And
Yeah.
I would love to hear from your words, Aaron. If you had to kind of just, uh, if you had to, if I were a reseller and I said, hey, Aaron, I've already got a direct buyer. Why should I sell to Mercury? How would you approach that? What would be your response? Like, what would be your why?
a handful of the items you sell to us are probably going to be higher prices, like especially those T-Mobiles.
Yeah.
The other thing is the communication, the payment. And the other thing is, I'll give a great example. So we had a guy send in a Samsung yesterday, and he
Hmm.
thought the Samsung was unlocked. And because it said you run it on SIGW, it said one of the things says it was Spectrum, but the other thing says unlocked.
Hmm.
And what I did is I made a video of the phone. I put a SIM card of another company in the phone.
Hmm.
I showed the screen popping up in real time saying, SIM not supported, contact your carrier to unlock it. And
Hmm.
then in the same video, without any cuts, I went to the settings to show the IMEI so he would see with his own eyes that not only was it not unlocked, he could verify the IMEI with his records to see it was his phone. So
Hmm.
I will go the extra step and do things like that. So if there is a discrepancy and
Yeah.
there is some deductions, I will show it and not just
Right.
say it. So you see, okay, this is actually a real thing. They realize that it was a mistake that they made, which is nothing against them. I made
Yeah.
mistakes a whole bunch of times, but that way they kind of see that and they just don't have to trust the direct buyer's word.
Well, one thing I like about you too is like, and I've seen you do this, is like if there is something like that, you'll just be like, "Hey, I'll just send it back. It's not an issue. I'll pay for the label." Like,
And that's another thing too, and it's usually pretty rare because
yeah, of
like in that situation, if he sells it to anyone else, it's going to be, carrier locked as well.
course. Yeah.
But if someone does want to return, which I'd say maybe happens half a percentage of the time, I will treat it just like something I sold. I'll package it up very well. I'll get it shipped out the next day. So there's no delays. It's not arriving broken. I'm treating it, I'm attempting to
As a reseller.
Yes, and the other thing I'm starting to do, and I can't make a guarantee on this, I would just say this is a bonus,
Yeah.
is sometimes if it's like an item that there's this guy, he sent in, I think like 18 or 21 phones last week. And there's a few of them that had multiple issues. And
Mhm.
sometimes if it is multiple issues, if it's got like a cracked back and like a couple cracked camera lenses, sometimes, let's say the total deduction on that would be $200.
Mhm.
Sometimes because I just the back end thing. I send those off to get repaired, is what I do. I have a third party company, and we're running this like a complete legit business now,
Mhm.
because they already have to do the repairs already, and there's a cost to opening up the phone.
Yeah.
Sometimes, because if there is multiple issues, the deduction can be a little bit less. So what I did is on a few of the items, I was able to give them an extra $5, an extra $10 on some of those items. That is too complicated to put on the price sheet. It would be, 50
Yeah.
pages, and I'd have to hire 5 people that are working full time to manage it. But I am starting to do things like that. Or sometimes if it's like a 16 Pro Max and it's AT&T and T and it's right between B plus and B minus grade, I will just give a middle price of that. So instead of it being, B plus grade is 605 and B minus grade is $40 less, I'll just do a price right in the middle. And again, it's I have to kind of manage the price sheet where it's readable. It's already I have the expanded sections where it makes sense, where I can give people the biggest savings or make them the most money, but I can't do it with every single carrier, every single color, every single battery percentage. I had a guy the other day, he sent in a Samsung and a S24 Ultra, and it was like a higher gigabyte. And I say on my price sheet, no, we don't pay more for higher gigabytes, which we generally don't. But in that specific situation, it was just for that 1 week. I needed more T-Mobile ones, so I was able to give them another $20 bonus. And I send that. I used to not tell people about that, but I had a conversation with myself a couple days ago. I said I should start mentioning that. So what I'm doing now is when I send those prices to people, I'm putting a little next to the standard, I'll say, iPhone 16 Pro Max, and I'll put in parentheses bonus now, plus however much money I'm able to do. So I wouldn't expect that at all, but if that is happening, it's a way of we're going to do this for a long time. I'm going to do this for the next 10, 20 years. I know Chris is as well. And me and
Mhm.
Chris have a good synergy of different things that we're just like Hermosa talks about. You don't want to be doing the same thing with different partners. So we have really good roles as far as that goes. So if I can do things like that to attempt to, as another additional way to build goodwill and good trust, then I'm happy to do that.
Yeah. I think so. I want to give an example of a direct buyer that, and I'm not going to name them, but they basically burned a bridge with me pretty fast by doing this, and I never sent them anything ever again. So they contacted me about some items getting blacklisted a year later, and they asked for a refund,
Fuck.
and I was like, "What?" Like
A year?
a year later, and I don't know. So like at that point, like I was just
Mhm.
like, I think I ended up refunding them. It wasn't a ton of money, but it was still like that. It was just like you guys are you're a direct buyer. Like you're supposed to take the risk on of that, you know? Not me. You know, like so like and like I never talked to them again. Like I just deleted their number altogether.
Wow.
So, and like it doesn't take much either to ruin a relationship like that with a direct buyer. I mean, they might think it's nothing, but you were talking about it earlier, Aaron, like you've been in the shoes of the flipper who needs the money to buy the next deal, Especially when you're full time. When you're full time, it's like I need this payment to hit so I can go buy more devices this week so that I can pay my bills kind
Straight
of
up.
thing. Like we've all been in that.
Hmm.
It's a real thing. You're hoping and praying that the payment's going to hit so you can, maybe you've already closed some deals and you're just waiting on it to hit your bank account.
Hmm.
Um, and I've been there. It sucks, right? But um, yeah, I mean it's easy to burn the bridge. Um, and I like what you said there too. We do have a good synergy. because you and I don't have to talk to each other very often either. Like that's the one thing I love about it is like me and Aaron talk maybe once every 3 days about like what's going on because I know he's doing his part and I'm doing my part kind of thing. Like
That's
don't
right.
don't really I love the fact that we don't have to check in on each other. Like
Oh yeah, and
nice.
there's none. Neither one of us. No one gets lazy, and there's none. Yeah, there's none of that. I
The
haven't
same
even
thing with
thought about
Matt.
that.
Like I don't have to check in on Matt. Like I don't have to make sure that Matt is going to show up to his console call, you know? Like or show up to a podcast or like and like I think not to go into like hiring people, but like whenever I hire now, like that's kind of what I'm looking for. Is like I want to find people that are just responsible
Yeah.
and can do things without, having to be quote unquote told what to do all the time, every week for everything.
Yeah.
That gets annoying. And those are the VAs that I fire.
I
Like if they
think
ask me every little thing, I'm just like, you're not going to work out. It's like,
yeah,
use your critical thinking skills.
yeah, hand holding is if you're an entrepreneur, like you're ready to move on to the next thing, and hand holding is overrated. Also, I hope people listening to this realize that how you do one thing is how you do everything, guys.
Yeah.
Like, and that's like so like apparent and helpful when you're looking at how people do things and whether you want to partner up because that's tricky. Like, um, there's a lot of people in this industry where what Chris and I we've been hanging for doing this for almost 3.5 years. Um, Mercury's been going strong for what, about a year now?
A little over, yeah. A year
Yeah,
and a
Two
half,
years,
I
yeah.
think.
but you and Aaron have known each other for like not quite a decade, but what, 8 years?
Close. Yeah, close. About 8 years, yeah.
It's wild. So it's great. I say all that because those people who hear this will realize like I think we're going to take care of you. Mercury's going to take care of you. Recelerator's going to take care of you. Like
Yeah.
you guys are in good hands.
I think that's like I've been thinking about this thought a lot lately too, and I like that you brought that up, Matt. Is like lately I've been a little bit more strategic about the things that I plan to do, right?
Hmm.
And I will say it stems from writing the book. Because lately I've been thinking more about um simply finishing the project to perfection,
Hmm.
right? And it brings me back to what Hormozy says as well, is like if you're going to start something and it's going to be great, you want it to be great. You don't understand how much work
Hmm.
is necessary to do something incredibly well. And I've been thinking about that a lot. And that's why I think I loved how Aaron did the price sheet. Is
Hmm.
because like that is over and beyond what is necessary by industry standard, right? Like I've never seen anybody else, hey, here's a video on exactly how to, figure out what great iPhone you have. Like like
Yeah.
it's not something I've seen or going the extra not mile and being like, hey, here is how you figure out if a Samsung is actually unlocked. That way
Hmm.
you don't, screw yourself.
Hmm.
And I think I like that, and Aaron does that a lot too. Is like there's a common trait there that I have with him is like he does things to perfection. Like,
Hmm.
and I'm sure you're very meticulous about the pricing too, right, Aaron? Like you probably look at it every freaking Monday, making sure that it's good, double, triple checking.
Well, with phones, you
Yes.
can't not be like you got to be so in the weeds because what the prices change. I mean, they change weekly on phones if you're asking me,
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's one thing you got to be on top of.
for real.
So I mean, it's the same thing with the book is like the level of I don't think people realize the level of work it took. Um, and to make something great is hard. To making Recelerator is hard,
Mhm.
right? Like doing something that people see as, even ordinary, or even as expected is a very difficult thing to deliver on.
Yeah,
Um, matching expectations is sometimes a very difficult thing to do. Exceeding expectations is like where you get into that 1 percentile, right? Like
yeah,
that people don't expect, which is I think what Aaron did with the sheet. And I liked because if I look at this from an outside third party perspective, looking at the sheet the way I looked at it last night, it was like my eyes lit up a little bit. It was
Mhm.
just like, whoa, this is actually really cool. And I've never seen this before. So like that was a new experience for me, even though I had kind of envisioned it. I was just like, that's freaking cool.
Yeah.
So I think did a great job, Aaron. I love it.
I
I,
appreciate it, Chris.
it fits my standard of, executive communication big time. It's like, you wanted to be just very clear about it to the point where people don't screw up and screw themselves out of money, right? Like that way you don't have to also go back and forth. It saves everybody time. It's amazing. I love it. So it's good shit.
Appreciate
So
it.
sell your devices to Mercury, guys.
Hey.
Aaron's over here putting in the good work.
That's right. And we'll get you paid quickly.
Yeah,
Hey.
exactly. I love it. Well, Aaron, I appreciate you coming on the podcast, dude. Um, is there anything you want to say to the people that might be watching? We get a good amount of flippers that watch this podcast. Is there anything you'd like to say to those guys?
So people that are already in the business,
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah,
this is one of the
these
most
people are driving around picking up phones right now, listening to this. What would you
ah,
tell to those people, or what would you tell those people?
this is one of the most stable businesses on the planet
Mm.
because you don't have to rely on a third party. It doesn't matter if there's a recession. David Kosciuszko, I think, said it. It doesn't matter if there's a recession or a depression or a boom. People are always going to have electronics. They're always going to sell it.
Mhm.
And I had a fear that as more people got into it, people would make less money, but that's not the case because more people are doing this now than they were 10 years ago.
True.
And more people are making more money now than they were 10 years ago. When I got started, which was, I guess, it was 10 or 11 years ago now, whenever it was a part-time thing. No one was making full-time money with it. Because
Yep.
when I bought, there was one, you know how Chris runs the program now. Chris is the head and he's the leader in this industry. There was another guy who he's done something else, doing great. But I messaged him when I bought his program and I said, how much is the top person making a month? And he said last month, I think it was a woman, and she made like $13,000 in sales, like 3 to 4 grand in profit. And that was like the highest they were making the most money in the biggest program, and it might have been the only program at that time.
Yeah.
So, and
Mm.
now, of course, you have people that are making, that much a month, right? That's about what I make a month. There's a guy who is in your program, Chris. So in this program, he lives 20 to 30 minutes from me. He makes 10 to $20,000 a month
Hmm.
in profit. So, and it's not just us, there's a lot of other people doing it. And there's also a lot of people, they don't have the need to make a gazillion dollars, but they're very happy making an extra three, five, $7,000 a month in profit, either
Mhm.
doing it as a full-time thing or just doing it as supplemental income to basically pay all the bills or have extra money or pay off debt or, just not have to stress about money or whatever it is that whatever your kind of goal and your motivation is. But
Yeah.
this business is only going to get better. And the reason for that is a couple things. There's a couple reasons for that. The first reason is we have better information and technology than we had before. We have all these systems and processes. I mean, we weren't buying gaming consoles before. Now you have Matt that has, that's a whole nother industry. And it's not just one thing. It's not like it's just Oculus Quest. There's a whole other gaming consoles. The other thing is back then it was kind of just phones iPads and smartwatches were not as popular back then. We
Yeah.
could Google it, but I think the first iPad maybe came out 10 years ago. The first iPhone came out, I think, in 2007, and it was a while till after that the first iPad. So the type of items that we buy is expanding as well, has expanded as well. And
Mhm.
then, of course, the way we market. Back then, it was just like, I think, posting in Facebook groups like buy, sell, trade groups, and then Craigslist. And now, of course, you have Chris who discovered Google. He was the first one in this industry to crack the code on Google. And I mean, they have a monopoly. Anytime anyone wants to search something, where do we go? We go to Google. So you
Yep.
have Google, you have Facebook ads, and then you have some of the back end stuff for getting repeat business, like Chris's software. I've had it where people that I've met up with before, they automatically get put into Chris's follow-up thing, and then Chris sends out texts automatically through the software or whatever it is. And I've had people say, It sends a
Whatever it
message,
is.
wake up, and they're like, say it again.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, I forget that.
Magically makes money in the background.
Right. I'm just a customer at that point. That's all I care about. Just make me some fucking
Yeah,
money.
there you go. Easy.
But yeah, and I've had it where they're like, "Oh, I got your message. I actually have this," and it's like, "All right, I just meet up with them. It's some free money. Maybe they'll have a gaming console that I meet up with, and it's 75, $80 profit." So it's
For
all
sure.
these different things. So this business is not going anywhere. It's only going to get better, and it's a very, very, very stable thing. You're not kind of relying on a third party or something else. Like once you get good at this business, you will have the skills to make $100,000 plus a year if you choose to in profit.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the great part is that all the skills you learn in it are directly transferable to every other business possible. Like, which is a beautiful thing. Like I tell, like a lot of people come into this and they don't know anything about marketing. They learn marketing here, and and this is what I learned is like, if you can market in this business well, you can market in most businesses well.
Mhm.
So I just like this business because you're not requesting money from people. You're giving it to them, which is the greatest offer in the world, in my opinion. There's no better offer than can I give you money for your thing, right?
Yeah, that's a
Hard to
good
beat
point.
that. Every other ad you see online is give me your money, give me your money, give me your money. And ours is, hey, can we give you money?
That's
It's
a
a
really
much
good
different
point.
thing. Like
Yeah, it is.
it's hard to beat that. So, and that's why I've always come back to this business is because it's relying on it, like my effort, right? Like, and that's a big part of it is like depending on how hard I go and if I get the right systems set up correctly, um, it you can't lose. It's very difficult to lose. So, but well, we got to get the game console class started here shortly. But Aaron,
Yep, yep.
I appreciate you coming on, bro.
Thanks, Aaron.
Absolutely. Hopefully, people that watch us got some value from it. And of course, Chris and Matt, always good seeing you guys.
Yeah.
For sure, dude.
Remember,
Really good
guys,
stuff.
check out Buyback Revolution. It's on Amazon. You can find it there. Also, you can, if you want to, you can listen to it for free on the podcast. Episodes 82 through 93 or something like that. Just look
Mhm.
for it. You'll see the thumbnails. Um, go
Yep.
listen to them. Join the school community. Try not to get banned. Finish what you said you're going to start. So, um, if you don't finish what you said you're going to start, you're just going to get banned, and that's the way it is. Um, See you guys later. Have a great
Chris,
day.
Chris is
Also check out
ruthless.
Console Kings, Matt's course. He's got a heck of a discount yearly one-time fee right now.
It's
Really?
$47 a month, guys, or a one-time fee of 447.
Yeah, it's hard to beat that. So
Nice.
definitely check that out.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys on the next episode. See you guys later.
Cool. See you guys.
Bye.